Hello, second grade scholars. Welcome back to CGI with Miss Park. Alright, today is Thursday, March 26th, and today's message is, hello scholars, keep up the great work. Love your second grade teachers. So let's get started. Today's problem is about chairs. You know those foldable chairs? You've seen them somewhere. And what we're going to do with those chairs is we're going to put them into the dance room. That's not our dance room. I couldn't find a picture of our dance room. But if we're talking about a dance room, we must be talking about, you got it, we're talking about Miss Morrison today. In the dance room, Miss Morrison put out 12 rows of chairs. Each row had 6 chairs. How many chairs are in the dance room? That is our question for today. Again, I'm not going to read it again to you because you kind of got the drill of this. And now we're going to go on to our retelling page. So the first thing you need to do is read it over. Think about the problem. Where are we? In the dance room. With who? Miss Morrison. What is she doing? She's putting out 12 rows of chairs. How many chairs in each row? 6. And what are we asking you? How many chairs are in the dance room? So you need to put that into a story so that you can actually tell me the story. So right now, read it over to yourself. And what you're going to do is pause this video and retell it just like we do in class. You do not need to be the same word for word. So just make sure you're trying your best. Pause it right now and give it a shot. Okay, I think you gave it a shot and now we're ready to continue. So, did you retell it? I hope you did, and if you didn't quite get it, you can always go back so you can see the problem and then try it again. Let's keep going. So, we're going to go through this problem just like we do in our 3 reads, so here we go. The first thing we do is we read the problem. I like that you know what we're doing now because it's been the same thing since Monday. You can read it with me, that's fine, but we're going to read it again, so remember that. In the dance room, Miss Morrison put out 12 rows of chairs. Each row has 6 chairs. How many chairs are in the dance room? Alright, so we read it first. Now we're reading it again. Reread the problem. In the dance room, Miss Morrison put out 12 rows of chairs. Each row has 6 chairs. How many chairs are in the dance room? Now, we need to think about what information the story is giving you. The first part is that Miss Morrison puts out 12 rows of chairs. The next part is each row has 6 chairs. Now, what do you think it's asking you to do? We talked about this yesterday, and the key words in this was rows and each row. That's going to tell you that this is not just an addition and just a subtraction problem, but this is a different type of problem. Now it's asking you, what is the story asking you to find? What is the question? Again, look for that question mark. It's usually at the end of our question. The end of our problem. How many chairs are in the dance room? Is our question. Alright, now we're going to continue. So we're going to go on to this part with the more and the less. So you ready for your question? The question today is, does Miss Morrison need more or less than 12 chairs? And for more, you're obviously going to do a thumbs up. For less, you're going to do a thumbs down. Again, I'm going to ask you to tell me why. I'm going to move myself to the middle. And you ready? 3, 2, 1. More or less? Show me. Okay, now pause the video and tell me why you chose this. Again, I chose more than 12 chairs because I think it's less than 12 chairs because you need to be able to explain your thinking. Give it a shot. Alright, great. Let's keep going. Now we're going to go through a couple different things I want to show you before you start solving it on your own. So, let's go through the information we know. I already did a couple clicks. So the first thing is Miss Morrison put out 12 rows of chairs. Each row has 6 chairs. What is it asking you to do? Think about the word rows and think about the word each row so that you can figure out what it's asking you to do. Think about the question. How many chairs are in the dance room? Your whole point is you're trying to answer the question. So if you don't know the question, you're going to have difficulties. Now let's think about this. Think about the rows that go which way? Side to side. Put out your arms just like this. Rows. It's like a little boat is sailing across, because if you're rowing a boat, you go across. And the next one is columns. I know Miss Hildebrand's class will do this once we get back into the groove of it. She'll do rows, columns, rows, columns. Columns are just like the columns that are in the lunchroom. We have a fixture going right down the middle of our lunchroom, right where Miss Mayer sits. And that is a column. And it goes up and down, just like this. Just like the L in the word column. This is another example of rows and columns, of columns going up and down, rows going side to side. And this last little anchor chart to help you out. Going to go through it just one more time. Columns go up and down. Rows go side to side. Just like those cupcakes. Now I want you to think about this before you solve the problem. I also put up yesterday's right here to help assist you with how your work can look. Can you do it in your method? Absolutely fine, but if you need a little bit of help to look at something that we've done yesterday, they're right here. Please note that this is yesterday's work. You need to concentrate on today's work with today's numbers. They are different. This one was 9 and 8. We are not doing 9 and 8. We are doing 12 and 6 right here. And they are chairs. So good luck right now. Remember, you need to think about what the problem wants you to answer. You need a number sentence, a word sentence, and you can look back at to yesterday's work. So take out a piece of paper, and even if you're done with it, I want you to check it over. Alright, let's get going.
Okay, the first way that we are going to do this is just like last time, and it's going to be drawing in groups. So, I remember the problem being about chairs in Miss Morrison's dance room. So it says, in the dance room, Miss Morrison put out 12 rows of chairs. So I'm going to do that, where I'm going to draw 12 rows. But I already know it's not going to fit all the way on here, so I'm going to make sure I can do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 rows of chairs, and in each row there's 6. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a couple ways you can go around this. Number 1, you can count all of them. But that's going to take some time. So instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's going to take too long. So number 2, what you can do is count in groups. You can do something like 12. So that's 12, that's 12, that's 12, that's 12, that's 12, and that's 12. So now instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 6 times, or 6 12 times, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12 6 times. So that's number 2. you can do that. Or number 3, you can add on, like skip counting, or like arrowway, which we did yesterday. If you do 6 plus 6 equals 12, and then you add 6 more and you got 18. So if you pick that, that's up to you. What I'm going to do is do the second method. I think that's a little smarter, where I group the doubles together. So then I know that 12 plus 12 is 24. That's 24. And that's 24. 48. And now if I do these two together, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I got 72. But we're not going to end there, because we're going to check with a second method. Our second method has to do with doubles, which we were doing before. But now we're just going to make it easier. We're going to draw 12 rows. And when we count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I drew small lines because I'm only going to write the number on there. I'm not going to sit there and draw out all of these. So on each row, she wanted 6 chairs. There are 12 rows. So then now from here, I can group doubles together. So I kind of did in the last problem. But I just feel like this is the easiest way to go, because adding doubles is really the easiest, I think. And I got 72 here, which is awesome. Do you notice how I did not have a double here, so I needed to carry the 24 over? You can't just leave that apart, because that is not added in yet, which is something that I've seen a lot of scholars do before. This is our last method, which is technically the array method. And it's the method that we personally like the best, because it's going to help you understand what an array is, and it shows you exactly what we want you to do. Or it also visualizes how you are going to set up the chairs. So first thing I want to do is make some lines so you can actually show the chairs. She wanted 12 rows, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I did do them a little longer than I wanted. I'm going to actually move this a little bit higher up to see if we can get the full angle. You might not get the whole thing, but I'll try to show you as best as I can. So on each of these, I'm going to actually draw 6 chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you notice, I'm going to go directly under it to draw the rest. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In my head, chairs are square. It doesn't have to be square. If you want to go with circles, that's fine. Circles are actually quicker. You notice there's still 6 in each row. That does not change because she wants 6 chairs in each row. And this is the array. Yes, it is kind of big, it's kind of long, and that's fine. Because again, this is going to show you how multiplication works. And how that works is, I believe columns were red. So this is your column. I'm going to write it on the side. And this is your row. Please remember both row. And your columns, which are in buildings, go up and down. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. You are technically doing 12 times 6, or I want you to see the column and row action. And technically, if you add the whole thing up, there is 72.
Okay, now that you've solved 3 different ways that I solved it, I want you to look at the last page. This is the most important page. Also, what you did, was it similar to what I did? Did you have something different from what I did? I would love it if you took a picture on your phone or on your tablet or your parent's phone, and if you can send it to me on Class Dojo, that would be much appreciated so that we can see what you are doing at home. I have a lot of scholars sending me things, and I've been writing little comments on it on Class Dojo. I do want to go over the numbered sentences right underneath me, and it is 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 equals 72. There are 6 of them. It can also be this long number sentence of 6s. Again, if you're adding the same number over and over and over and over again, this is called repeated number sentence. And the answer is all the same for these. A repeated number sentence can be moved and changed into a multiplication sentence. So right here I have 12 times 6 equals 72, and 6 times 12 equals 72. For addition and multiplication, you can change the add-ins and the multiples, and your answer will not change. Your word sentence is, Miss Morrison has 72 chairs in the dance room. I hope you did really well today. And tomorrow we're going to do a little fluency game. I wanted to show you different ways you can think about arrays and repeated multiplication with some things you can do with at home. So if you have an egg carton or toilet paper rolls that are left over, or even paper towel rolls, something that can hold, or a couple different bowls, that's what I want you to have prepared tomorrow, with maybe beans or beads or just something small that you have a lot of. So I'll see you tomorrow.